How's it going, you guys? In this video, I'm going to be discussing the concept of momentum in regards to the subject of the law of attraction. So first of all, the law of attraction, if you don't know already, look up the law of attraction 101 in my channel name in the YouTube search, and you'll find my video where I clearly explain how to use the law of attraction. And it'll work 100% of the time. It always works for everybody. It's just that people don't actually understand what the law of attraction actually is. And when you understand that, you'll be able to use momentum to your advantage, and then you'll understand why so many people can't actually use the law of attraction properly. But basically, how you feel and what you think is what we call vibrations. And when you walk through your life, you're emitting some kind of aura, okay? Imagine like a energy field around you, and you're sending out these little spurts of energy, which is dictated by how you feel, how you think, and what you see in the world, and by your confirmation bias. And your future is created by the current feelings and thoughts that you're emitting out into the world. And then you can create general circumstances and other people and things, you attract them to you based on your overall dominant feelings and vibrations. Okay, so you don't create exact things by wanting them hard enough. That's not how it works. You attract little bits and pieces of things that are in alignment with how you feel. It's literally like you're a magnet, and it does actually manifest almost magically, it seems, when you start to use it. It's really fucking crazy. Synchronicities and all these other things. So anyway, if you really understand what it is, you'll see, oh shit, it's actually real. So momentum. What is momentum? So momentum is basically, so if you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always got. Very famous quote, look it up. Basically, you're not stagnant, okay? You're either going up in the vibrational scale, or you're going down, okay? So, you know the quote, you know, the rich get poorer, or the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. This is a very good example of momentum. And there's a lot of people who, you know, go from rags to riches because they turn the tides of momentum early enough to where they don't have so much baggage and experiences and feelings that reinforce those experiences, and experiences that reinforce those feelings, that keep driving them down and down and down. But there's examples of people who have been living a bad life, they've done crimes and stuff and gone to prison, and they shift that momentum entirely, and they start to go up and up and up. And sometimes the momentum is shifted in a direction so powerfully, because a circumstance happens that shifts it for them, that they just go straight up, and now they're like on the complete positive end of the spectrum. So momentum can be shifted, but essentially, the more negative, so-called negative, the more negative feelings, negative circumstances, the more feelings and circumstances and emotions and thoughts that you gather in your life over a period of time that are in alignment with negativity, okay? Or whatever you don't want, right? The more momentum you have shifting your life and your vibration and your overall circumstance in that direction. And momentum is not stagnant. It's either going up or it's going down. And you can be, you know, but your dominant momentum, it's going one way or the other. And so, but the more circumstances and the more thoughts and the more emotions and stuff that you gather in your life experience, and the longer the period of time you spend in those emotions and things, the more your momentum is going towards that direction. So, you know, you see people out there who say, like, you know, I've always been poor. My family was poor. You know, life is hard. You know, it's just the way it is. Like, you know, you may have it easy because, you know, the way that you were brought up. You know, you were brought up in a rich household or whatever, and blah blah blah. You know, but I've been raised in this way. That's just the way life is. You know, and then you're like, well, are you sure that that's actually true? Like, yeah, it's true. I'm like, well, why do you think it's true? How do you know that It's not just the way you're seeing things, like because of history, or because like this is always how things have been in my life, so I know that it's true. It's true for me, you know. But the reality is, they just have had a lot of experiences that were in alignment with that negative vibration, that's keeping them stuck in that vibration. And again, nothing is good or bad, thinking makes it so. And in objective reality, negative and positive are just our projections of how we are experiencing things. They don't actually have objective meaning. But when I say negative, I mean things that they're feeling that they don't like things that they personally, subjectively are perceiving as suffering and uncomfortable, right? The more thoughts and feelings that you experience that are in alignment with suffering, the more suffering you will experience, and the more likely you are to experience more of that in the future. Now, if you start, so in order to crawl out of that hole, you've got to start to gather. The more you're in that hole, right? The farther you are in, with the momentum towards that direction, the more and more effort that person has to emit or exert. The more energy you got to exert to crawl out of that hole. And so at first, it's going to be very, very hard, because all you know is that dominant vibration, that suffering or negativity or whatever. But just like all these other people who have gone from rags to riches at various points in their time, it's possible to do so. But it's just, you have to first believe that it's possible. And when I say believe, I mean you have to have faith that you can do better. Most people, they're just too far lost that they can't believe that they can do better, and so they stay stuck. And so you've gotta have faith that that you can do better, that there is better stuff for you, and you have to have faith in the universe and all the principles I mentioned in the law of attraction. But the thing is, you might not have everything together at first. Little bits and pieces. You've got to crawl out of the quicksand, or you're going to keep sinking. You've got to crawl out of the quicksand, piece by piece. A little positivity here, a little positivity there. Small changes over time equal big results. You've got to change a little bit at a time, you know, just like an obese person who's trending towards that direction. They make little changes, they experience a little bit of progress, a little bit more of that fit life, and they get more fit, more healthy until they finally crawl completely out of that hole. It is all about shifting the momentum. So most of the time when people are experiencing negativity and suffering, they just want to completely change their complete life completely right away. You know, just like they wake up the next, like they're suffering, they're in poverty, they're in a horrible situation, and they want to just wake up the next morning and manifested their dream life. Like, it doesn't happen that way. But the real way that it happens for everyone who's ever crawled out of poverty, but with some freak accidents where they do kind of just manifest real fast, if they got all the principles down, is they start to change their mindset little by little, just like I had to. Okay, if you know my story, you know, holy crap, how the fuck did that guy get through all that, right? You know, little realizations, little epiphanies, little by little, but you start with the intention. You change your intention. You're like, I intend to feel good. I intend to have a good life. And you're still, that momentum is, you know, you're in the complete red, and then you're a little bit more orange, a little bit more yellow, you know, and you're just in the neutral zone. And then the yellow turns to what? The yellow turns to, I don't know, blue, and then, I don't know, like, and then purple, and then green. I don't know, forgive me, but like, you know, you're in complete negativity, then you're like, oh, a little bit less negative, then you're like, I'm kind of like average, kind of wishy-washy, then I'm neutral, and then I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit hopeful, I'm a little bit good, I'm a little bit feeling good, I'm a little bit happy, I'm excited, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling euphoric, I'm feeling like effortless manifestation is kind of like how that scale of momentum works. It's a scale where you're deep in the worst hole of shit, and then you're a little bit better, right? You're a little bit less shitty, I'm neutral, then I'm like, I'm feeling great all the way up until you feel manifestation. So think in terms of momentum. Think in terms of, I'm getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit happier, a little bit happier. And realize, like, when you feel angry at someone, right? So you can, the more you've experienced of happiness, the easier it is to shift it, right? The more you recognize that vibration of just pure goodness, the easier it is to go from being angry to all of a sudden just flipping a switch. Okay, because you can get better at just shifting momentum immediately, but you have to experience more of that first. You have to know how it feels like. And then you're reaching for these feelings, right? But somebody who's completely on the downside has to reach and reach and reach. So anyway, if you're in anger, you can't, especially if you haven't experienced the tops of the positive scale and the momentum, you can't just immediately flip the switch, like waking up the next day and then your whole life changes. You can't just, go from being super angry to oh, I love life, unless you're faking it, right? And faking it till you make it, maybe some people experience goodness, but you're not feeling the goodness. You're feeling fake a lot of times. And deep down inside, you have that festering suicidal tendencies or whatever that a lot of people put on the mask and they end themselves because they didn't actually go up the scale in a genuine fashion. They just tried to go from complete suicidal tendencies to all of a sudden everything in my life is great. You shouldn't try to mask your feelings. Instead, what you need to do is, you're feeling angry, you need to be like, okay, let's say you're you're going to blow up on your best friend or your boss or something. You need to be like, okay, I need to take a walk. I need to take a walk, and just don't even ask permission. Just go for that walk, wherever it is. Cool off a little bit. Notice how it's like a pot full of boiling water and steam, and the pot's like the lid is just boiling up and down, and the water boils over. You want to prevent the water from boiling over. Go on that walk, and that little bit of that, let a little bit of that steam out, right? The water gets a little bit cooler, a little bit cooler. The water settles down, and then the water goes to neutral. Okay? The water goes to neutral. And when you get to neutral, you can completely change the water temperature and the direction of momentum entirely. All that momentum was boiling over, right? Let that momentum go, settle down over time until you get neutral temperature. Then start to build cold temperature until it's freezing cold. The freezing cold is oh, everything's good, don't worry, man. Yeah, we'll work it out. Yeah, whatever you say. It's all good. The universe is working for me. Whatever you want, whatever's going to happen is in my greater good. Manifesting good things. But if you're in the heat of the moment, you're I'm going to freak out, fuck you. The water's boiling over. And you're going to damage things with the heat. So you need to think of momentum like that. You're angry or whatever, you're freaking out, or you're into suicidal depression or whatever. You've got to slowly do things like listen to music, play video games, change your nutrition, read good books, watch inspiring philosophies, surround yourself with a little bit more positive vibes if you can. You need to engage in all these positive behaviors, or reach for thoughts that are in alignment with these things that allow that emotional vibration to go down. And then always aim and intend to create more things that are on the vibrational scale of building momentum towards that super cold, ice cold, everything's good type of thing. But remember, you got to constantly nurture the vibration and that's in the momentum that you want, that's going towards the direction that you want. It's about direction. Guide those directions. When you wake up in the morning, if you say, oh fuck, life sucks, I don't know, I woke up and my car got broken into. You have a choice of letting that guide your momentum towards bad things, or let it boil over, let it turn to neutral, build more things that are in alignment with good stuff. Remember, your day is not fucked. because of one thing or another. Okay, even if like you have, you're like, oh fuck, now I have to spend my whole day like, dealing with insurance and all this crap because someone broke into my car. Like, make that as good as you can. Do the best you can with what you got, where you are, and don't let your external world dictate your vibration. Create momentum towards good things. Okay, change the way you see things, and the things you see will begin to change. Have faith that the universe is bringing you good things. Have faith that what you want is actually manifesting through your car getting broken into. And the key thing that creates the good things versus bad things is looking at is the way you look at it. If you look at it in the sense that this actually universe bringing me good things, self-fulfilling prophecy will happen where you actually create what you want through that circumstance. Or you create better things than if you were to be like, oh fuck, my whole life sucks, fuck everything. Okay? Or you just give up and say, fuck it, I don't give a fuck what happens today, I just don't care anymore. And that's a neutral momentum, and that will actually create good things. As long as you don't start to, whatever you do, don't start to be like, fuck, everything sucks, fuck everything, and then freak out. And then view the rest of your day as like, instead of being like, I don't care, fuck it, everything sucks today, I'm just going to give up, and I'm just going to do whatever, that'll create good things. But if you're like, man, I can't believe this happened, everything fucking sucks, I fucking give up, and then everything, the rest of the day, you're just like a blown gasket, you're boiling over for the rest of the day. Create that neutral temperature, and which is better than the boiling over, because that's better momentum. Or create better momentum, but just whatever you do, don't create negative things. So, view things in terms of momentum. I know I did a horrible job of explaining this in this video, but hopefully it worked. Leave your question, comments down below. Let me know what you think about momentum in this video and blah, blah, blah. Talk to you all next time.